All right. Thank you, Dr. Bose. And ladies and gentlemen, without waiting and without any more wait, may I have Chef Ranveer Brar, who's joined in all the way from Mumbai to address all our first years. Chef Ranveer, these are first years who've just joined in, as Dr. Bose said. This is the second week on. And ladies and gentlemen, most of us know Chef Ranveer Brar as a celebrated chef and a much loved judge on MasterChef India. But his journey began far away from television studios in the narrow lanes and kebab shops of Lucknow. At just 17, his curiosity led him to learn under Munir Ustad, a traditional kebab master. Interestingly, his first culinary classroom was not a five-star kitchen, but the streets of his hometown. He later studied hotel management and by the age of only 25, became one of India's youngest executive chefs at a five-star hotel. Chef Ranveer's journey took him to Boston, where he helped create the award winning restaurant Bank. During this period, he also had the honor of curating and hosting a dinner at the prestigious James Beard House, serving imaginative dishes such as duck samosas, short rib rogan josh, and coconut creme brulee. What makes him truly distinctive is that he does not look for food merely as a recipe. He studies the history, geography, people, and emotions behind every dish. He's a chef, restaurateur, author, storyteller, traveler, food stylist, and even an actor. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Chef Ranveer Brar. Chef Ranveer, over to you and welcome to this session.
Thank you so much, Abdullah. I hope I am audible
Yes.
in amazing. Uh, Thank you and welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to this. I call it the first family of hospitality, IIHM. You know, and it's such a pleasure speaking to you here right now. But obviously, we will speak when I come to your colleges and I come say hi. But let me tell you, right now is a good time to have all the doubts that you have, to have all the questions, to have all self doubts on whether you're doing the right thing or not. The absence of doubt is recklessness. So it is okay to have the doubts that you're having. Just take my advice and speak to your faculty, speak to your teachers. Just let it all out. That is the first step. The first step of hospitality is surrender. So, for you to be able to surrender to this great opportunity in this great institution that you have joined, you need to speak to your teachers and clear all your doubts. So, when you start, your tank is full, the carburetor is clean, and you can just go for it. I think that is the first important step that I feel we should all take whenever we take new journeys. um, and considering you guys have just joined in the first year, there are a few things that are going to change. I speak about it every year. I think it's important. I'm going to speak about it now as well. uh, the one thing that has changed that is important for you to understand is up to now you are in a very knowledge based ecosystem. Your education stressed on knowledge, on you knowing, which means you were given a syllabus, and then if you knew the syllabus, you would be graded, and that would be your right to win per se. लेकिन अब से ये चीज कंप्लीटली चेंज हो जाती है आपके लिए. हॉस्पिटैलिटी is not just about knowing. It is about knowing and doing, which means the way you have looked at education will change. It is going to be about knowledge, but it is also very strongly, in a very big way, going to be about skills. And um, just knowing would not be enough. You would also need how to do it. And the only way to learn to do it is by doing it, right? Whether it is swimming or cycling or any skill. The only way to learn swimming is not by reading 1,000 pages on it or seeing 1,000 videos. Uh, the only way to learn swimming is by swimming in the pool. So the same goes here in hospitality. I think it's very, very important for all of you to understand that from now on, your life is about practical education, about skills, and about knowledge, which is going to be the first adjustment you will need to make. Uh, and that is an adjustment that will help you transition into the industry uh, easily. Yeah, because the core of our industry across many other, actually the core of our profession per se is doing, which spans across industries. So I think that's very important for you to understand. Um, what is important also is uh, for you guys to appreciate that the industry is changing and how. While your teachers and your curriculum can only get you ready for what they think is the future ahead. But in today's times, the future is changing more than ever. And hence, unless you personally bring that clarity on where you want to take your future, you will not be able to use the education to the most. And I always say that clarity does not need to come on day one. But the search for clarity needs to come from day one. And by search of clarity means in the next 6 months, you should be able to clearly answer to yourself, why am I here? What do I want from this course? Where do I want to go? And how does this course that I have joined help me in getting there? That's a question that all of you need to answer for yourselves in the next 6 to 8 months. Uh, because, like I said, in this ever changing world, uh, clarity is the most important gift, right? Uh, the other bit that I want to sort of, right now, because it's a very one-way communication, I'm just supposed to download everything onto you. So in this one-way communication, I am just giving you what I think is going to be important. There'll be times when we speak to each other, when you can speak to me and I can speak to you. We will answer a lot of those questions, right? Another aspect that I want to download on you per se is um, the more you get into um, cooking, or the more you get into any skill that you have joined for, the more you'll realize that you might have those answers already. You might have heard that already. You might have seen that on Instagram already. You might have asked that from AI already. You might have read about it already. Because in a world where information is as accessible to you as your teachers, uh, you know, sometimes the fact that you have read it, or the fact that you have searched for it on Google, or the fact that you have seen on it on Instagram, or the fact that you have had a chat with your AI, makes us a little overconfident. All I want to remind you, and you should remind yourself then, is just reading it and just accessing that information is not enough. The information that you have, the is the same information that is available to the 7.1 billion people in this world. Now close to 8 billion, actually. Now, that information is just information that is floating on the cloud, on the internet. It's available to you, your teachers, and another close to 8 billion people that inhabit this world. What makes you special is not the information. Don't get obsessed with information that is available on the internet. Don't make it a reason to get overconfident when your teachers tell you things because you've already seen it on the internet. In today's world, reading something off the internet means absolutely nothing. It means the ability to do that is one of 8 billion, right? What makes you special is to take that information, have that discussion on that information, on the chat GPT answer that you have with your teachers, and see how it suits yourself. What do you make of it is what makes you special. What you make of that information and how do you translate it in your life makes that information yours. In a world that is surrounded with artificial intelligence, information, videos, Instagram, do not make that just a source of knowledge. Learn to use that to better yourself. And always remember that information is for everybody. You discovering it has no value. The real value is you finding yourself in that information. A lot of students, in times feel that, oh, this is a topic, I'm going to put it on ChatGPT, I'm going to get all the answers, I'm going to go Google it, I'm going to get all the answers, and then I will know more about it than anybody else and the teachers. Well, anybody can do that. The guy sitting next to you, and the guy sitting next to you, and the guy sitting next to you, and the guy anywhere in the world with a phone can do that. So don't think information makes you special. Don't get overconfident about it. Remember this at a time when our education is changing. We yes, we no longer need books as much as we needed 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Yes, we no longer need written education material as much as we needed 15, 20 years ago. But remember, to make that material yours is how you win in the world that is moving ahead of you. Now I can see all of you um, on the small screens on my phone, and I see a lot of happiness. I see a lot of hopes, and I see a lot of dreams. Right? I always say and remember this, that you know the best thing one can do in life is an old car. Okay, you can keep the good parts, make them look nice, change the bad parts for new. Right now, as you're sitting there, there's a lot of good parts. The hopes, the dreams, the reason why you're here is the good part. Keep it from day one to the day you pass out. Don't change that. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. Keep those dreams, those hopes very close to your heart. Okay? But change the bad parts. The bad parts might be over stressing on knowledge, adjusting to skill education, the figuring out how you fit in the industry, um, not getting overconfident with access to AI. That is all. That is all that you need to do. All of you have a potential. The world belongs to you. Tomorrow's world is going to be a world of opportunities. I can't even begin naming the industries. I think Abdullah and the honorable principals have already done that for you. The potential in front of you is very, very high. Um, all the best to you. I'm open for any questions, Abdullah, if you want to ask or if anybody else wants to ask.
Yes, super. Chef, we've got questions started coming in, and I think the first question that I'm going to take is from Preetam Saha from Calcutta campus. And he says, maybe we could just spotlight Preetam if you could come in front of the camera for Chef to see you as well, and we will just spotlight the Calcutta campus as well. So Preetam asked, what is the single most important habit a young chef should build in the first year in a professional kitchen? Okay, that's Preetam, handsome boy standing at the David Foskett Hall. And he has this question that he's asked, what is the single most important habit a young chef should build in their first year in a professional kitchen? Chef.
So two habits, I'd say, Priya. First is get the basic skills out of the way. Work on your knife skills in the first year. Get the basic skills out of the way. The basic methods of cooking, and get friendly with those. Get good, fast, clean knife skills in your kitty. Learn to clean as you go. Learn to keep your kitchens clean. If you have that at the end of the first year in the skill space, that is more than enough. If you if you are great with your knife, if you keep your kitchen clean, and if you know what boiling, steaming, poaching, frying, and all these things are, and if you're able to perform the basic methods of cooking well, that is a good, very, very good place to be. uh, and the other thing, I think, now in terms of habits, in terms of traits, uh, I think the most important part at in the first year that you should imbibe in order for you to become a better chef is to learn, is to accept that you know nothing. As chefs, we are learning till now. Um, the first thing you need to do to become a chef is surrender, accept that you know nothing, and say that to yourself every day when you wake up in the morning. We are all students for life. Curiosity is the sharpest knife. So stay curious.
All right, great. Thank you, Chef. Next question coming up. Thank you to Preetham as well for asking this question. We'll go to Bangalore now. Selena Katukaran is the student, and I'll request the Bangalore team to spotlight the Bangalore campus and Selena. And she has a question, Chef, for you. She says, with technology and AI entering hospitality, what skills do you think young chefs should develop that technology cannot replace? I can see Selena, you can come in front of the camera so that chef can also see you when he is answering your question. Okay, that's Selena there.
Yes, Lina. Hi. Hi. So, two or three things. I think first you need to understand that AI is here and it's not going away anywhere. Um, and the next step for AI will be robotics. So, in the world that you move into, um, I would like to say 5 years, but in today's world, 5 years is a very long time. 3 years from now, AI robotics is going to be a reality. There are robots already doing precision work like surgeries and running car factories. Robotics are going to start. The robots are going to start cooking as well. Now, there are two things that we know that AI will always be able to do. One is the basic uh, uh, understanding, logic, and reasoning with respect to food, and the other is um a basic robotics for being able to cook, steam, so on, so forth. Where does a human um, um, survive in the kitchen in the world of AI? I think you always have to remember AI is binary. It lives in the world of zero and one. It's decision making. It's a yes, no, white, black. But a lot of cooking that happens between the zero and the ones. The factors which are going to get even bigger now are uh, culinary R&D, culinary development, AI. You will need great chefs to help integrate AI into kitchens. AI both robotically and as artificial intelligence as we know it today. So, what is important for you to survive in an AI world is to understand your tone of voice first. What is your expression? What is your style of cooking? And second, for you to be able to be the person who is needed for AI implementation, and be the person who uh, uh, who can work between the zero and the one, and and take it forward. In your simple first year of college terms, AI cannot replace creativity, though it is being most used for doing creative things, create videos, create. But AI cannot replace creativity. It can replace the mundane tasks. It can replace the boring stuff, which is great because boring stuff is what makes you leave the industry when you join it in the first year.
All right, fabulous, great. Thank you, chef, and thank you to the team asking questions. Moving forward, we move to Kush from Delhi. He asked, "What is the one thing about the profession that we usually don't understand until we actually experience it?" If I could request Kush to be in front and team to spotlight. Okay, that's Kush, Chef Ranveer,
Hi,
and
Kush. Hi.
that's the question.
So the one thing about this profession that you don't understand till you experience it is how physically taxing it is. You know, working in a commercial kitchen is physically taxing. When you're standing 16 hours on your feet, when you're lifting, when you're moving heavy cauldrons, तो वो आई थिंक पहला शॉक होता है जो फर्स्ट ईयर के स्टूडेंट्स को लगता है जब वो इंडस्ट्री जाते हैं या काम करना शुरू करते हैं कि unlike the kitchens that they have seen at home, these are very physically taxing environments, and um, you need to be able to physically also survive in these kitchens. But they also make you very, very tough.
All right. Thank you, chef, and thank you, Team Delhi. Moving forward, I have a question in relation only coming from Sujal Pradhan from IIHM Siliguri. And he writes, "What is the best way to handle the pressure while working initially under a professional chef?" He's asking to handle the pressure, and that's Sujal out there at IIHM Siliguri. Over to you, chef.
The best way of handling a pressure is Sujal and everybody else is accepting what you know and what you don't, not being delusional about about what you can do in a professional kitchen and your knowledge and skills. Uh, all professional chefs understand that you are there to learn. All professional chefs understand that you don't know everything and that is why you're there. But they give you work based on what you know. And unless you give them a very clear picture of what you know, that's where the confusion starts. Clarity is the most important aspect of working in a commercial kitchen. Clarity uh, of what your efficiencies are, what your strengths are, आप क्या कर सकते हैं, आपको एक्चुअली क्या आता है, आप कैसे कमर्शियल किचन में कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं, उस चीज की क्लैरिटी, और आपको क्या नहीं आता है उसकी क्लैरिटी. अगर आप वो क्लैरिटी देंगे तो आपको काम उसी हिसाब से मिलेगा. And the chef will put you on a path that is a learning path rather than an unlearning first and relearning later path.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sujal, for asking this question. Moving forward, chef, question coming from the Goa campus, Somnath Das, a first year student. He writes, "If a student aspires to start their own business or venture in future, what kind of industry experience should they gain? And what knowledge and skills should they develop before taking the entrepreneurial leap?" And that's Somnath there.
I think it depends on the industry, on the business you want to open. Uh, um, so, but the basic formula is if you're, let's say, looking to work in a restaurant or open a restaurant, then you have to work in a restaurant which is your ideal restaurant, which says, this is the restaurant I'm going to open. Find that restaurant, work there for 2 years, which is the last part of this journey of if you wanted to open a restaurant today, what would it look like in 10 years? Go work in a restaurant like that first for 2 years, and then come back from there and work in a restaurant which is like 5 years old, a business that is in the middle of their journey to excellence. And then by in those 4 or 5 years, you will have enough confidence to now start from the beginning and set up something for yourself. And this goes for any business that you're looking to open. Always start with the end goal. Always start with, this is my ideal example of the business I want to open. Let me try and work there for 2 years. And then come back to find a business that is mid journey, and then open something of your own.
All right. Thank you so much, Chef, for answering that for Somnath. All right. Moving forward, we've got Simran Advani asking question. He's from Jaipur. Simran is from Jaipur. And the question is, what is that one mistake you see young professionals making when they enter the hospitality industry, and how can we as students avoid it? That's Simran from Jaipur who's asked this question. Over to you, Chef.
I think one of the most common mistakes is to come with unreasonable expectations. The biggest takeaway from hospitality industry is, it is as good as you make it. I see a lot of students coming with unreasonable expectations, expecting to become Chef Ranveer in 3 years, expecting to become a Vikas Khanna in 5 years, and then getting disappointed because they place their expectations on the wrong map. So please set your expectations right, and do it with your faculty, do it with your teachers, because not delivering expectation leads to disappointment, leads to depression. But if it was a wrong expectation in the first place, you don't want to water that plant for 5 years to realize that it was wrong in the wrong plant in the first place. Got it? Expectations जो होती है ना, वो बैम्बू ट्री की तरह होती हैं. बैम्बू का जो बीज है वो 7 साल बाद फूटता है, लेकिन आपको बीज डाल के उसका ख्याल रखना पड़ता है. तो आप अगर सही एक्सपेक्टेशंस प्लांट करते हैं, जब पेड़ निकलेगा तो आप डिसअपॉइंट नहीं होंगे, और उस एक्सपेक्टेशन का अच्छे से ख्याल रखेंगे. अपने टीचर्स के साथ रीजनेबल एक्सपेक्टेशन सेट करेंगे. रीजनेबल, एवरीथिंग इज अचीवेबल, बट have the right timeline for every expectation so you don't get disappointed, and you have the willpower to move on, wake up every day and say, I'm going to do it.
All right. Super, super. Thank you, Chef. We've got Jehan from Ahmedabad. He says, what keeps you motivated to be consistent in your career and develop more in this industry? And that's Jehan in front of you.
Yeah, Jahan. I think the biggest, there are two parts to look at it. One is consistency, which means, am I the same person tomorrow that I was today? And one is excellence. Am I better than the person I was yesterday? So I personally believed today is better than yesterday, and tomorrow has to be better than today. And, so you have to be consistent in your approach, but your quest has to be not consistency, it has to be excellence. And how do you do that? The biggest tool is what I spoke about earlier. It is curiosity. The ability to ask questions puts you on this road of discovery and excellence. Never stop asking questions. No question is silly. No question is stupid. No question is wrong. And if anybody else tells you that, they are wrong. Keep your curiosity going. Wake up every morning with a lot of unanswered questions. Let them trouble you. Sleep in the night with a lot of unanswered questions. Let them trouble you. That is the only, and consistently be curious. Automatically, you will realize that you're making one day better than the day before.
Oh, fabulous. Great. Thank you, Chef. Moving over, the next question coming in from Calcutta. Though you've answered this a bit, but I think what Fawaz Akhtar is asking from Calcutta is, what are the steps we need to do to become an entrepreneur? While you've answered this a bit, but he's asking more from the point of view as to, he's in college and all the first years in college. So if they want to be entrepreneurs, what are the steps they need to keep in mind? And we can see there Fawaz standing at Calcutta campus.
So Fawad, I hope you heard the 10-year, 5-year sort of conversation. First of all, identify the business that you want to do. Look at the icon that you want to become in that business. Work for that icon. Then look at a brand that is midway on this journey to becoming an icon. Work for that brand or that business. And then open your own business. That is the first thing that I told you. The second thing is becoming an entrepreneur um, um, is very, very different than being a chef. Okay. When you are a chef, you are very you forward, your food, your cuisine. But an entrepreneurship is always the other person, the customer forward. What the customer wants, what do they like, where am I open, what is the customer like. So if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, keep your eyes open for marketing, keep your eyes open for financial management classes, keep your eyes open for subscribe to all possible government agencies on Instagram. Keep your eyes open for FSSAI, MyGov, where you get to understand the laws for different industries and how they change.
Oh, wonderful. How wonderful is that, Chef? Thank you. There's one question that's come up, and that's Parth Thakkar from Ahmedabad. Again, I'll go back to campus Ahmedabad. So he says that, well, you're a celebrity and you've achieved so much. What makes you a really unique chef as compared to the other celebrity chefs? I mean, how do you differentiate, or how do you, differentiate from other chefs, and what's your uniqueness in reference to others on the television? So that's the question that Parth Thakkar from Ahmedabad has asked. He's standing right in front. And over to you, sir.
So, Parth, I think what makes you unique from me, what makes you unique from your colleagues sitting behind you, from your friends at home, is what makes me unique. Yeah. See, when you become or whatever a celebrity or when you get a bigger platform, your uniqueness only multiplies. So first belief that you need to have is that you need to be you. What makes me unique is that Ranveer is Ranveer, and being a celebrity, that Ranveer amplifies. And I think that is the only thing that all of you need to understand. Don't be like Ranveer because you see a Ranveer. Don't be like Vikas because you see a Vikas. You be you, because your uniqueness is not in being Ranveer. Your uniqueness is not in being Vikas. Your uniqueness is in being you. And what has worked for me is being me. Like I said, when you get a platform, being you amplifies, multiplies.
Oh, fabulous. Great. Thank you, Chef. Chef, just a question. I mean, out of all these questions that are popping up, maybe, if you could just share the kind of money the students earn, because at the end of the day, today hospitality is an industry which pays so much, not just around the world, but in India as well. So, the kind of money or the opportunity that these students have going forward with the kind of hotels that are coming up, the opportunities, the restaurants, the entrepreneurship scale, and the, things available today in the market. So, what's the kind of money that they should look at? Because that's one of the single most attracting features or motivational features today when it comes to the young students. So, if you could just throw some light on that.
I think the details of it you will get when HR managers or
Hmm.
people running the business get into it. But I can give you what makes our industry special. See, normally what happens is industries are either penetrative, which means there are a few people who make a lot of money. So it's like a vertically industry that goes down vertically, which means just a few people penetrating, making a lot of money. Or industries are horizontally spread, which means there's a lot of people but making less money. I think the hospitality industry is the only industry that is both vertically spread and horizontally spread and vertically penetrated. It's the only industry that has a lot of people making a lot of money. So I think the biggest employer of people in the country is organized and unorganized hospitality, right? And um, um, the biggest chunk of money and that is to be made is in this industry, which is both spread out wide and deep. I think that's a very unique to our industry. You won't see that in any other industry. Um, so you might be 2,000 of you passing out. There is equal opportunity for you to make a lot of money. If it were an IIM or if it were a different kind of an institution, yeah, there might be 2,000 passing out, but only those 20 people that whose posters get put out, that vertical graft, they make a lot of money. Rest normally just stay right on top. So you have in this industry gives you the ability to penetrate into larger incomes very early, and I think that's the unique part. Not just through entrepreneurship, even through the ability to earn in dollars, whether it's on cruises, whether it is on as personal chefs, as private chefs. This industry allows you all that.
Oh, wonderful. Chef, Bibek Rai from Siliguri has asked this interesting question about, the challenges that you faced on the road to success, and how did you overcome those the challenges that you faced when you started your career and till now, all the efforts that you made to overcome those challenges.
I think the biggest challenge that we still face is lack of sleep. Abdullah, let's accept it.
A lack of
Sleep.
sleep. Ah, agreed.
the the I think if there's one challenge that is consistent across so many years that I've worked in the industry, is I could never get enough sleep. Um, Jokes apart, uh, see, I can't. The challenges that worked for me are not going to be the challenges that work for you. You go into a different world. You go making your mark into a world that is going to look very different from the time I entered that world. When I entered the industry, there were only 43, 44 hotels in the country, 44 five-star hotels. And 6 out of 100 students wanted to be chefs. And out of that, 4 out of 100 used to get placed as chefs because there were only 44 hotels. You're moving into an industry that has 2 lakh students passing out and 2 lakh students getting absorbed, and 2 lakh of them wanting to be chefs. So the world that I went into and the world that you're going into are very, very different. I don't think specificities you can really learn anything from, but a few general challenges that I think will consistently be a part of our industry. I'll share and how I dealt with it. I think one general challenge is, like I said, the only way to learn it is to do it, which means, and the only way to do it is to stand there and do it. And the only way to get better at doing it is by doing it over and over and over and over and over again. Sometimes repetitiveness can become boring when you enter the industry, when you start doing this profession. Why do I have to make the same dal every day, chop the same onions, the same garlic? But it's only making you building excellence into you. Repetitiveness is a tool that you should use and and make friends with. The only way to learn is to do something over and over again. So as you get into the industry, make friends with repetition, make it meditative. The other challenge I think that everybody faces when they get into this industry is the ability to at least for I think that for me is going to be relevant even when you are going to pass out, is the ability to find work life balance and stay mentally fit and mentally tough, right? um, we are a very, very different world. We are a world that lives on interacting with people. It's a world that is about people. It's a world where you are speaking to people, where where it is a theater of sorts. You have to really push your troubles at home behind, and then stand and smile in front of the guest. You really have to. You might be going through a lot, but hospitality is about the theater of not putting it on the guest. Now, when you do that, sometimes it takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on you because it seems like theater, because you feel like um, uh, you're pushing your mental health on the side just to smile and put an act out for the guest. You might have to do that sometimes. Some days are going to be very, very tough when putting that act, the hospitality act, for the guest is going to be very tough. You're going to face those days. All I can say is learn to switch on and switch off. The sooner you learn to do that, the sooner you learn to turn that switch on and be the hospitality professional, turn that switch off and be yourself. Um, um, uh, um, Heed to your mental health. I think that's going to be very, very important in times to come. So learn to switch on and switch off. Be aware of your mental health. That's your biggest tool. And learn to make friends with repetition.
Oh, how wonderful is that, Chef Ranveer? Thank you. Just about time for two more maybe questions. So one question coming from Delhi, and that's Utkarsh. Now, partly you answered this question, but then Utkarsh from Delhi asks, which part of being a chef you still find a bit difficult, which partly you've answered. But yeah, what is the one thing that you would advise us not to do as being an aspiring chef?
I think what I still find difficult is um, the ability to um, the ability to accept change, because there is just so much changing in our industry. I think that for me is the challenge that I wake up to every day, and be open to change, not question change, embrace change. Not just question change. So that is one. Where you are, I think the most important thing that you need to be mindful about in the space that you've created for or yourself and are going to create in the future is always remember, because you have, and I said it earlier, don't get overconfident because you have access to information. Always remember, 8 billion people have the access to same information. They can Google whatever you're Googling. Being able to Google something and find an answer does not make you special. Being able to do things, being able to be yourself makes you special. So don't get carried away in this world of information, with information being your tool. That's not your uniqueness. It can never be.
All right, great. Thank you, Chef. Okay, Mobani Mitra from Calcutta has a question. And Mobani asks how to make new connections in the culinary world to grow my network.
A lot of great platforms. LinkedIn is there, Mopani. LinkedIn is there. A lot of chefs are on LinkedIn. Um, but the best way to do it is attending exhibitions, attending industry seminars, attending industry get-togethers. Now there are a lot of student forums, young chef forums that are there across cities. Enrolling in those. These are great spaces to meet, taking part in competitions. Again, they are great spaces to meet the industry and network.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Chef. And just about last question of the day coming from Jaipur campus, and that's Vritti Rastogi. And the question is, how do you say creative when, cooking becomes your job more than your passion? So she's asking to be about creative, how to be creative.
I think I'm sorry, could I have the name again?
Vritti Rastogi.
Okay.
I'll
So
just
with
request the team to spotlight and bring in Vritti here so that Chef can see Vritti. Meanwhile, over to you while she comes, Chef.
Vritti, I think the what we try and sort of um, portray creativity as is a very um, stereotypical picture of creativity. Creativity means you see this guy with a brush in his hand and he's doing these crazy things, or only painters can be creative, only theater artists can be creative. All of us have a very stereotypical image of creativity. First thing we need to do is we need to break that image to be creative every day. To be creative every day doesn't mean you need to work with a flashy medium and say, I'm going to do this photograph, I'm going to create this image, I'm going to paint, I'm going to sculpt, I'm going to write poetry, I'm going to do this today, and then that's going to certify my creativity. Creativity in the smallest of things is what really is creativity. And if the only way to drive creative satisfaction is to find those small creative places. हम लोग पुराने समय में उनको जुगाड़ बोलते थे. That's the original Indian creativity. You don't need to be that stereotypical creative and saying, I need to make this AI video to be creative. I need to make this image to be creative, this sculpture to be creative. Find ways to be creative in your life in the smallest of ways. Creative with what you see when you wake up your bed, creative with how you plan your day, creative with not just with big dishes and say, I'm going to be creative, so I have to create this new dish. No, you can also be creative with how utensils are stored in your kitchen. That's also creativity. So I think we need to get away from this stereotypical um, portrayal of creativity to be able to do that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chef. And that was just about time. For the last question that I've taken, I'll bring in Ma'am Bose here. Ma'am, are you there? Ma'am Bose, there she is, and I'll request the team to spotlight Ma'am Bose to say a few words uh, before we all wind up. Ma'am, over to you.
I can't see.
Ma'am,
Yes. Sorry. Good morning, Chef, and good
Good
morning
morning,
to
ma'am. Good morning.
all the directors, students who have joined today. Thank you, Ranveer, for those wonderful words. And you acknowledge that IHM is the best place for hospitality. And I think it is possible only because of you all, Chef, and all our students and you all who has helped us to become one of the best place for hospitality. And Chef, like you have millions of followers, and of course, I'm one of them, and I've seen that how inquisitive you are. So, like while I was discussing you about Lau Ghonta, very small things in Bengal, in villages, and I still remember I spoke to you about Mecha Sandesh, and after a few days, I found you in Bankura. And this, yes, you're absolutely right, Chef. It's lifelong learning. The day we stop learning, students, we stop living. So every day is learning for us. And now I think it's more difficult. With AI, we have to learn more. Thank you, Chef. Thank you for joining and motivating our students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Bose. Thank you so much. For all the students, you couldn't have made a better choice. IIHM is my home, and I say that I don't use that word very loosely. It is my home. You're going to be taken care by my family, and that makes you my family as well. Um, God bless.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That brings us to the end of the session. That was Chef Ranveer Brar, who had logged in all the way from Mumbai with, taking out time, especially to come and address all of you. And it was an absolute pleasure for us to have Chef Ranveer, who had joined in. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, teams. Thank you, IIHM India, for logging in and asking those lovely questions. An absolute pleasure for all of us to interact with Chef Ranveer. Not every day he joins, not every day he gets the time to join and address students. And as he said, life goes on, and you've taken one of the best decisions of joining his family, the IIHM family. Thank you. God bless you. And see you soon. Take care and bye-bye. Thank you, everybody.